People on.
What time is it?
Hump day, bitches! Woo! Chuck's had a little bit of sugar.
Woo!
Oh, plug in my monitor. How you guys doing out there? What's up, Night Train?
I'm just reading what he put in here.
You do?
Look, what I tell you. You see that?
Yeah, you said that fucking 4 months ago.
Yeah.
The fucked up thing is, guys, is that spike in COVID cases is like a bunch of 20-year-olds, and it's not doing shit to them.
Right.
So it doesn't even fucking matter. They're gonna lock shit down again in places, and it's all bullshit.
Well, which part is bullshit? The fact that people just can't contain themselves and be smart, or the fact that everything's going to end up getting locked down again?
Yes.
Yeah. Because, it doesn't take much to be safe.
No, what's bullshit is the Democratic Party, along with the few rare Republicans that are using this to garner more control over people. And, well, I don't know. You guys might not know this. Josh knows this. I'm a constitutionalist, hardcore. What Josh might call a classical liberal. Okay, maybe an English liberal. But it's bullshit because it's all against the Constitution. But anyways, welcome to drone shit and politics.
I'm going to throw out there, since you brought it up, it's one of those deals where if if the government doesn't say anything, people do all kinds of dumb shit. And the same people that are doing dumb shit are the ones lined up the hospitals dying left and right. And then all the asshats that believe that big government is the answer are going, the government should have done more. So what do you do?
Can't please all the people all the time.
Nope.
Let the morons die. Oh, in other news, political, Kanye West is running for president. Woo!
I kid you not. If Kanye gets in the White House, I move to Canada.
Bro, his party is called the birthday party.
I mean, I said it wasn't going to happen for Trump, but I feel like there's no way Kanye can end up in there.
Razzles, I'm out. Hey, you're close enough to Canada, bro. You can go live in that socialism.
Oh, he could just step right across the border. Oh, man. Chuck and I were just talking. So Night Train, really, really cool. So I'm actually up in Night Trainville, up in Plummet Town. And so I met up with those guys yesterday. We burned some packs, had a good time. I found myself standing around doing a lot of talking till I was like, well, I guess I did come to fly too. And Adam had asked if I needed anything printed, and I just haven't had a chance to get down to Joe for this new GoPro mount. I say new, I've redesigned this thing a handful of times, and I took the one with all the little features that we've talked about incorporated and asked Mike to print me one, and he did. And
good print too. Good print.
It is a good print. It's funny because even Mike said, man, it's a lot nicer than some of those first ones I was doing. And some of them are a case of, how it was oriented because I had suggested certain things. And he's like, sure. But I'll say this, even the parts that look a little rough are fused together. I've been like picking at this thing and bending it and pulling it, and it's not coming apart.
Well, that's good. That repair that you saw that I did on the one you sent me, that's held solid.
Right? But if you don't even have to do that. And I thought it was interesting. I was comparing the flexibility because really this is one of the most flexible places here, these little legs. And Mike was telling me that he actually uses 80% infill, not 100, because it gives a little bit of flexibility, that seems to give him better durability than 100%. So,
That
Chuck, what's going to happen is this is going to end up coming to you. I'm going to drop it in the mail, and I will let you put it through its paces.
I'll bash it good. We'll see what that print's worth, Mike. Yeah, if I can, if it helps me not lose an ND filter every time I fucking crash, I'll be a happy man. I was actually thinking about some kind of how to say this, like a stiff wire, almost like coat hanger, make it into a square that's slightly smaller so it has a little tension, and putting it around the lens area, that lens lip, so that it actually holds it right there.
Yeah. I'm pulling over. Oh my God, I can't even talk. I got a few ideas floating around my head that I think will tie this thing out pretty well. Because I mean, we're so close this time. J-Bo, to answer your question, as I'm sure you're aware from looking around, there is a complete lack of 4.5 mount options available. So I have learned how to model, and the GoPro mounts that you see, I have designed for the 4-inch frame.
Yeah, so dude, that print that he just showed you fits your quad. Like,
Yep.
this is why we did all this, because he runs the 4.5, I run the 4.5. I think we got one or two other people that run them too. So we'll get you on that list, J-Bo.
They're publicly available on Tinkercad. Like, I haven't bothered to put them on Thingiverse and all that other stuff, but on my Tinkercad, they are public. Let's see. Okay, I'll keep that in mind, Alfax, that's interesting to know. And in exchange for Mike printing that for me, he's asked me to make a few 5-inch session mounts and Hero 8 mounts because he's fixing to get himself an 8. So I'll go ahead and put the base together. I just need to get some measurements from someone on the. Actually, I'll probably find one somewhere. Anyway, I'll make him a few Alien 5-inch body compatible mounts, and we'll be square.
Yeah, that's actually one thing we were talking about, the durability of those legs. That's one place on the, at least on the 4.5 with the mounts I've had, including the one you gave me, including the bad prints that I had before. That is not an issue. Like, it hasn't been an issue in a long time, durability
Mm-hmm.
with the feet. But then again, I use conical washers. If J-Bo, you'll know what this is. It's what's on the bottom of your Alien. You use that and put them on the screws for your TPU mount on top, and dude, it won't ever rip off again. Not from there.
Nope. A lot easier to get this camera in and out of this mount. Say that.
Yep, your door ain't gonna fall off, which is something that happens with, I think, all the Heroes. It's got a spot for an ND filter. If you Josh shows the top of it by the top of the lens, oh, look at that bumper, dude, because that's where you hit your damn GoPro every single time, and it is not in view.
No mountain view. And this, you're going to look at, or when you get it, you're going to be like, I don't know, that's a little tall. Because I've been doing everything I can to get props completely out of the camera.
Yeah, the one I have is a little shorter. I actually like that height. That's perfect for me. So save that base design, Josh. Please.
Oh, I have.
Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna throw it out there for anybody since I didn't do this before. That is our email address. If you guys want some stickers or some straps, FPV NoobTube, we're not doing giveaways anymore. Just if you want them, send an email in with your address, and we'll send that shit to you. I'll leave that up for a few minutes for you guys if you want to write it down or whatever.
Yep. What's going on, Vampire?
And if you have asked for straps or have been promised straps and hadn't got them yet, remind me, because I am a fucking ditz.
Well, So Chuck and I have also spent a little time trying to catch up on the FAA stuff. And it's sort of frustrating just to read about because it's been a while since I really looked into it. The part that I found frustrating is that nothing has moved and nothing has changed. So the FAA is still adamant that they are going to try to lock these things down. UASs, not just drones, but UASs. This means planes, wings, drones, anything remotely controllable. Doesn't matter
Hell,
if it's FPV or
it'll be
not.
RC car if you throw it in the air.
I know, right? No more ramp jumping. So they're still intent on putting all that stuff to bed as best as they can. The FPV Freedom Coalition and a few other areas are really, really pushing what they call shielded operations as a possible saving grace. And it makes sense if you look it up. And New Zealand has implemented this successfully and has had zero problems with it. And it has taken really well. Shielded operations just means that whatever the tallest natural structure or building or whatever around you, you can't fly higher than that. And you have to stay within 100 meters of yourself, which, let's face it, most of us aren't flying further than that anyway. Now, so I know for any long range people that kind of, get yourself a GPS and a broadcaster and, you just
I
have
don't
to
know.
play that game. But for the most of us, shielded operations would be the saving grace.
It would, although I would want minimum 25 feet to 50 feet above whatever the highest object is. Just because, man, you go for a dive, you're usually start from above whatever that is.
Yeah.
It's a nitpicking, but it is what it is. My favorite saying.
Well, and for racing, it works out. So, because they're not ever flying really high. I mean, yeah, they can get 10, 15 yards in the air typically. And I'm not talking your pro stuff where they got huge shit. But for most of us flying multi GP stuff out in fields, it's more than enough. And for most of us flying freestyle, it's more than enough. Just trying to compromise.
Oh, off subject. I didn't know I could do that. Look, double banner. Cool.
StreamYard's
Sorry.
been pushing some good stuff out lately.
Sorry, guys. Streaming nerd shit.
Did you notice that they upped the number of guests to 9 instead of 5?
I did not, but I'll tell you what. I can get on. I can mobile host as much as I want now.
I know, that's very nice, isn't it?
Yeah, but none of them care about this.
No, well, doesn't matter.
Oh, so how was your session with our two favorite Michiganers?
Michiganians?
Michiganians, I like it.
Oh, it was a good time. Adam, it's funny because he came and met me at my hotel since he lives not far from here. And so he sent me a text when he got here, said, I'm outside. I go out, he jumps out of his truck, and he walks over and puts his fist out. Not me. I grabbed him. He immediately went tense. He turned into a statue, which made me laugh. Mike, Mike. Mike was like, sure, whatever. Touch me, slap me, give it to me. But it's good. It was good talking, catching up, seeing what these guys got going on with their drones and just little things, talking about work and home life and all that other stuff. You know how it is.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure now that I can actually see the chat, that it's not like hidden behind shit and all kinds of other stuff. I'm making sure I'm not missing anything.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
used to care. All right.
Well, he'd probably get away with using OBS and all now that he's got that monster computer.
Oh. Yeah, I got a monster laptop, but to be honest, I probably could if I wasn't on a mobile network. I don't know. But StreamYard is, dude, it's the best. It's a freaking lifesaver, especially in my situation where it's all cellular network.
I wasn't hearing any of that social distancing stuff.
I know. I heard you stuck your tongue in Adam's ear.
Who wouldn't? Off axis, what? Hold on. I'm just welcome back. Oh, you mean welcome back up to the state? I haven't really gone anywhere.
Don't worry, off access. Josh is easily confused.
I am easily confused, and I am confused at the moment. So, hi. Sorry.
There we go. That's even better. Well, 4th of July was interesting. I got about 30 mosquito bites, which I've promptly all turned into wounds. Just because. But I went to, if anybody you guys watched my last video, I went to that spot again, and it was the perfect spot because there was like, dude, you didn't need fireworks shows. It was sort of out where the farms were starting, so there were houses, but it was more land than houses. Well, you go to that kind of place, and people are competing for the biggest private fireworks show. So in the lake was just beyond some trees on the horizon, the where all the money lives. And dude, it was a fireworks show from horizon to horizon. Like, I've never seen so many fireworks from one location in my life. It was rad.
Wow.
No, none of them were close enough to fly in. And I was getting bit by mosquitoes so bad I couldn't have flown if I tried.
Well, I spent last week at the beach, and with the 4th of July canceled, well, I'll say with the public 4th of July events canceled, and with not having fireworks budget, we just smoked meats on the grill and called it a day.
Dude, I swear I saw probably $20,000 worth of freaking fireworks go off. Easy, easy. Like, each of these farmhouses had a firework show. Like, it wasn't just one here, one there. They had finales. Like, I was just like, holy shit.
I'm wondering if I'm having a Matrix moment here, or me and Off Axis are off kilter.
I guess it's been a minute.
All right, it's not important. I'm just.
Yeah, well, yeah, we mess with people's heads because we're every other week. So
Yeah.
I mean, these days, not a lot's been going on in the big scope of the hobby. So it's like it's been difficult to come up with things just to talk about every other week. We did do the show weekly, and there was a lot more going on then, like innovation, dude, just all kinds of shit was going on. And we were still running out of shit to talk about. And to be honest, we do like to have shit to talk about and not just chat with you guys. Yes, we love hanging out with you guys, but I think it's cooler for you guys if we actually have a discussion for you. Unlike, tonight.
No, well, I did have some stuff going. It's funny because sometimes I get off work and like my mind's going and I'm like ready to go right then. And then after getting something to eat, making a few phone calls, it's like I kind of lose it and I have to try to find it again. You know what I mean? Well, let's talk about this because I've really been beating myself up. And yes, I know it's off axis. I apologize. I know.
I like that.
Yeah. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, God.
Hey, anything that's a double entendre, I'm all over that shit. I mean, you can,
So when it comes to video editing, that's something most of us are pretty familiar with and are at least novices in, right? Meaning we have some exposure, we have an idea of what that means. Since I started, now I initially started with a few free packages, Windows Media Maker and one or two open source packages. And in very short order, I was like, this isn't really cutting it. I'm not getting what I want. And I subscribed to Adobe to use Premiere. And up until recently, without a second thought, I used Premiere. And just due to some of the budget stuff, I decided, I'm going to give DaVinci Resolve a shot because it is probably one of the most talked about softwares out there that I know has a lot of similar features with, keyframes. It has the filtering and, it has a lot of control, but it does it in a very different method than Premiere. What I ended up coming back to was I'm not going anywhere. I'm sticking with Premiere. Partly because of the time it would take to make my experience run as well in Resolve as it does in Premiere, and partly because I really don't like the way the free version, exciting, has implemented everything for use in the nodes. And I'm curious if any of you guys are using Resolve and maybe have experience with Premiere too, and have any opinions between the two. Because let me tell you what let me just tell you about the major points of my experience. So, Chuck.
Well, hold on. Before you get into your diatribe, I just have a quick question. Doesn't that have a feature where it asks you what you're used to using and actually sets it up like Premiere if that's what you choose?
The workspace, not the features. My problem was not the workspace, it was the feature implementation. So the first and number one thing that I noticed when moving over to Resolve was that, when I move my media in, and well, let's talk about Premiere, okay? Premiere, when you take your media and you bring it into the project, it immediately starts creating what's called, for lack of a better term, proxy files, low resolution versions that you can use in the editing panes that operate a little faster for ease of use and performance, right? So in Premiere, there's not a ton of control over that, and it just kind of does it. In fact, one of the things that I had to learn with Resolve was the fact that was even a thing, because Premiere just does it out of the box for you, and it works really well, okay, with no tweaking. So Premiere does that, but Premiere doesn't do it automatically. You have to tell it to do it because of the performance hit while it's doing that. It doesn't want to just hit you with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's okay. I can live with it, but having to remember to do it was a real pain in the ass. Once I did it, the performance was on par, if not slightly better than the editing performance in Premiere.
Keep in mind, guys, he's using a really shitty laptop. So.
Yes. And that is key in this, because with a more powerful laptop, it probably wouldn't have been as big of an issue for me. But as an example, when you export, Chuck, a final project, let's say 3.5, 4 minutes out of Premiere, how long does it take your project to render on your laptop?
I don't know, 5 minutes.
Okay. 3.5.
That's in YouTube 4K.
Right. For me, 3.5 to 4 minutes, YouTube 4K with, basic color correction, because all that stuff adds a little more processing, right? Will take me no less than an hour and a half, if not closer to 2 hours.
That's exactly what my old laptop did, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the first thing. And honestly, that is probably a far second. That's just me thinking of something I didn't really care for. The number one thing that I did not like was how it implemented transitions and what they call the interface. It's a node interface or something. It's not like Premiere. In Premiere, everything is like keyframes. Everything is run from your effects panel or that little area. Everything is a little drag and drop plugin, and then you go in and you set your parameters. Well, in Resolve, it's this weird linear, it starts here. You put some kind of, what did they call it? I'm having a brain fart. And it processes and then it outputs something. But in the free version, which is what I'm focusing on, because apparently it's implemented a little differently and a little more fluently in the paid version. In the free version, I did not find that intuitive at all. And one of the things that I used when I started using Premiere was like kind of the built-in transitions and things, until I got more comfortable with just doing that stuff from scratch, because it gives you a lot more control. Well, trying to do that in Resolve frustrated me to no end. And I'm talking about simple stuff.
Is that because of lack of experience? Because it took It took you how many years to get that down pat with Premiere? So
That is correct. And that's a fair point because, I have become quite fluent in Premiere.
all right, I put that up on the screen. I'm assuming you were talking about Premiere Night Train. I have one thing to say to that. 2 more edits. I'll watch them.
We all do. So, with those two things, I'm just going to stick with Premiere. It's a much, it wasn't about the experience. It was just about trying to cut out a little money where I could.
Well, you're paying monthly, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to do that thing we were talking about or try it?
Yeah, I
Prorated,
thought about it. My thing.
prorated,
Sorry,
of
go ahead.
course. Prorated, of course.
No, I got you. And the only reason I've hesitated is because I don't want to make a commitment to find out later I can't do it. Whereas right now, if it comes down to it, I can just cancel my subscription. And, it doesn't affect anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I want $100 up front. So,
Right. So,
I'm talking about let him sign in on my Adobe Cloud, basically.
not illegally. We
No, it
think
wouldn't
there's
be
a way
illegal.
that it's team friendly.
It wouldn't be illegal. I own your laptop.
So now, with all that said, after using, and this sounds like a little thing unless you've really gotten into the editing, right? But color correction and color grading.
That's hard.
Why doesn't Premiere have tools that are similar? I know they're not going to be the same, but tools that are similar to the way Resolve handles color. Holy crap. It makes it so easy and takes all the guesswork out to have the different scopes and graphs and things available that I cannot figure out how to turn on, so I assume they're not there in Adobe Premiere.
The Luminatory scopes are all there in Premiere, bro.
Okay, well, I'll have to look because let me tell you, and I mean, I'm talking
All right.
intuitiveness and everything. The
Look,
adjustments are super intuitive, and I am able to balance white and to grade and to correct color without having to play any guessing game or moving sliders around. Like it's math. It's 100% on the dot. It's no guessing.
well, I mean, the sliders are still going to be a thing, but knowing, like, I follow West Side. His style of flying and his editing is fucking phenomenal. Not really my thing. Uh, the long distance stuff, and I want flippy floppy, I want crashes, I want butthole puckering. But that being said, dude is a master on Premiere, and you guys probably all know this already. I'll shoot you a link to one of his videos. That dude, basically, you're gonna mess with you're gonna put the luminantry scope up, and you raise the bottom of the wavy lines to a certain number, and you lower the top to a certain number, basically using your black slider, your white slider, and what's the one right above it? Highlights.
Highlights and shadows, both.
Yeah, if any of you guys know what I'm talking about, if not, I'm sorry, I can't explain it any better without having it in front of me. But the bottom of the graph is controlled by the blacks. The top of the graph is controlled by the whites, and the highlights kind of does the whole thing like this. And Josh probably knows what I'm talking about. Sorry if nobody else does, if you haven't gotten that far into it. I can't explain it any better.
You're fine. It's just the ability to see on a graph where. So actually, I'm going to try to build a parallel. If you've done anything with PID tuning and PID toolbox, the way you have the heat maps that kind of lay out and overlay all of your samples so you can see where that noise is stacking up over time, it does that same thing with light and color.
Okay, dude, yeah. Dude, the three little, if you go over to where where you keep your effects control box, right?
I see it now.
You click the three little lines and you put it on luminantry scope.
I see that now. I don't
Yeah,
know
open
why I
your
didn't see
color.
that before.
And there is other graphs, but that's basically the one to use because it's the most basic and understandable for someone who's not, a genius.
Oh, you know what? Because I wasn't going into the creative area. Because I don't do much with like Lutzes and things like that. I just want to correct the color. I don't want to like insert a mood on it most of
Dude,
the time.
you want to use the creative area. Trust me. Like, dude, I'll show you some shit later on, man. When we're done with the stream, if you're not wanting to go to bed or something, just cool little things, and dude, you'll probably want to use Lutzes after what I show you. I mean, I know my shit hasn't been perfect yet. I'm still learning how to do color correction because it's hard to get that shit when you're starting from scratch. It's very overwhelming when you look at it. But if you just know a few little tricks, oh, it's tits. I mean, my color's still not perfect. My biggest trouble is how to get the sky the blue that I want it. It's vibrant but natural. It's either like almost a fucking navy blue, or it's over fucking saturated bullshit. Like it's hard for me to find that balance.
Oh, this is much better. Okay. Yeah, I didn't want to get distracted. It's just since you were telling me, and I'm kind of like, if it's in here, I'm going to find it.
Dude, creative is key.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah. We can get into it a little more when we're not, boring, so we don't bore the fuck out of these guys who
Yeah,
half
that's
of
all
them aren't even using Premiere. So,
right. Oh, yeah. Learning new things always, gets me going. Especially when it's something that I'm looking for. And like I said, just having the experience with that in Resolve, just Chuck Herbie, and he told me, he said that stuff's in Premiere, and I'm like, hell if I can find it. Guess I was
sorry. Like I reacted the way I did because that's all been really obvious to me. I found that shit a long time ago. I just didn't know how to use it or how to read it.
Gotcha.
Jeff Freestyle, what up, big dog?
Yeah, bud. Man, with MD was just showing us some of the stuff he's working on. Yeah.
Oh, that certain bling project. Oh, I'm sure Jeff's seen all we have.
Right.
Although I did want to do that on a chop shop, Jeff, but you got all impatient and shit. Couldn't wait another week.
Hey, did you guys who are here get over to the Noob Tube and check out the latest skit? Because I thought it came out pretty good. We had a good time. I'll put it that way.
Dude, the best part was mine. Well, it was.
Oh, legs.
Oh, dude, seeing a fat man tumble around, you can't beat that shit. I was hoping it would be more of a bitch scream, but apparently somehow I have such a low tone that it's hard for me to do that.
Probably why it came out so good. Get some of that puberty crackle going on.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen what he's talking about, what did we call it? What did you end up calling it? I forget.
What?
The video. We were just
Oh, the
talking
show
about
off.
the show. Oh, types of FPV pilots. That's what it was. That's something that anybody that, well, Night Train will know, of course, but anybody that's been around quite a while knows, Icky started this whole shit, and he started a series of videos. He actually did most of them on the Icky-verse, I think. If you haven't seen them, dude, go watch on the Icky-verse, dude, or Icky. I'm not sure what the channel is exactly. They are hilarious. So we decided to carry on that tradition and just make some funny shit that pushes a little safety, and Josh eats bloody hot dogs that are been on the ground. So watch that shit. It's fucking
Yeah,
funny.
fuck COVID. No, it was good.
Hey,
and none of these are
I'm sorry. It reminded me of my circumcision.
Yeah. Frickin' Fordo, man. No, and they're not necessarily going to be safety oriented. It's just that this one, there was the opportunity, but it really wasn't a safety video. Let me tell you, though, I got some messages with some people that are like, it's not a show off thing. You do it to keep stuff out of your motors. I'm like, relax. So I knew who all the hand launchers and hand catchers were because they were just
Right. Hey, just send them all my way, dude, and I'll show them my freaking thumb scars.
I just told them, relax, sit back and watch it. So,
Rabbi
anyway,
FPV, hold on. Look who's here. What's up, big dog? Oh, come on now. He hasn't been around in a long time.
I know.
Good to see you, brother. I was
Wow.
in your neck. I was in your neck of the woods a little while ago, but I was on delivery, so you know.
Yeah, Mike, I saw your comment. Brother, I don't think anybody pulls a printer out of the box, puts it together, and gets, Brain 3D style prints. But, Chuck and I both have had a lot of prints from a handful of people. And look, anybody sees this, don't go reading into it. But, there's no, there's definitely something to be said for print quality from somebody who's doing it at home versus a lot of the services. And look, once you get those prints, especially considering you can buy a spool of, filament for, let's go high, $25. And the fact that $25 pretty much gets you one print shipped from any of those other places, that's a big difference. But even more, I'm not concerned with the way it looks as far as, the layers and if they're perfectly matched up and little strings and things. The number one thing that gets me is when you don't have good layer adhesion. Because these things, their number one purpose, I don't care how they look, because the first thing I'm going to do with mine is put it on my drone, put my camera in it, and run out and try to break something, right? Not as hard as Chuck, but I do it. Right. And if this thing is not going to hold together, then why do I want to put a $400, $300 camera in it and chuck it at walls? So, more than anything, it is the sturdiness and robustness of the print. Did it get hot enough to adhere? Did it get cool enough to stay together? Is it a solid print? And we have had some that weren't solid. So, Mike, if anybody gives you any shit, send them to me. Like I said, I've been picking at it with my fingernails. I can't get anything to break. Before I even put it on my drone, I want to know if it's going to hold up. So it's going to hold up.
Double A's in the
What is going
house.
on, Aaron?
Welcome, the patron saint of FPV, the most supportive motherfucker in the hobby.
For real, man.
Yep. And I got to talk to you about that later, Josh.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to see him around. I know there's been a lot of stuff going on. We're not even going to go back that direction.
I'm gonna come see. I'm gonna come see you soon, Double A. Not this weekend because I think I'm going to go fly my drone at a moving car show. So yeah.
Nice.
Plus my ND16 should be in my PO box. Yes, I got a PO box, bro, so I don't have to send everything to your house. He's not my mailbox anymore. He's my friend, okay?
But he could be your part-time mailbox, too.
Oh, if I plan on coming there, I'm sending whatever I ordered at his house for the show.
Oh, man. Well, guys, I'm going to ask you, if you haven't been over, I don't normally push people to my channel, but the last video I put up, I was really proud of. It was my last with Plummet and Mike Train. Mike,
I like it. Hey, that shit was fire.
Man, I was just feeling it. I was going with it. I felt good on the property. We went and found a local Catholic high school. That part's not important, but with schools being closed down, there was nobody there. It was a good day. Yeah, I have a channel. I don't push it a whole lot, but
Who said you? I have
yeah,
one too off access.
and be honest. Don't just listen to me saying I'm proud of it. If there's something you think I can do better, tell me, because here lately I've really been feeling my packs. I've really been feeling my build. I was very happy with the way that one pack came out.
Yep. Hey, I'll tell you what. I mean, I have not used what's it called? I always say real steady. What's it called on the Hero 8?
Oh, hyper smooth.
I've not used Hyper Smooth. I do have an edit coming. I think I'm going to put on the FPV NoobTube where I do use it. So we'll all get to see what that looks like. But man, I don't know if it's because I changed props or what, but I think I've finally found smoothness.
Raz, it's not for lack of trying. I'm going to comment on that in just a second, Chuck. It is not for lack of trying. I am hucking and chucking this thing everywhere I can think of. I had this thing fall out of a tree onto a concrete pillar the other day. All it did was delam a little bit of carbon here. I mean, brother, I'm trying.
It is all about that 4.5 alien. That shit takes a beating.
So hyper smooth, let's hear it. Are you for it? Are you against it? Chuck?
I don't know if I care that much, to be honest with you. I know it's supposed to be a big, deal or something, and it's a big argument in the community, but I don't know. If you can see the props, I would say fuck no, because it looks stupid as shit. Hold on, let me get it. To see your shit going
right here in the corners to watch. Where am I at? To watch the props come and do this. And
that looks so janky. I don't know. I mean, I know there's the argument where you just need to, I will, Raz, where you just need to learn to be smoother on your sticks and get your settings right to where your quad helps you fly smooth. I've also heard that pure sticks are tarred. And then there's the guys that want to make their video, each video is like West Side, each video is going to be a masterpiece. It's not about flying a quad, it's about what he's showing you. You know what I mean? And if that's what you're into, hyper smooth all day long. If you want people's buttholes to pucker, and that's your main goal, like me, usually, it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't know. Like, I've had 2 Hero 8s for months now, and this is the first time I've really used it. Oh, yeah, he wants a link to your channel.
Oh, well, all right, I'll work on that. So here's where I'm at.
His name's,
I watched the Salty Bunch. What's that?
His name's Josh Withrow. It's the same. He's the only one on YouTube.
I started to say just that, and I'm like,
I got a channel. I got a channel too. Look at me. Look what I can do.
I see the Salty Bunch. I see the people out there trying to elevate themselves by tearing everybody else down. And that's the only way I read it, because there's never anybody that's like, I don't really care for hyper smooth. The people that are for it are like, who cares? The people that are against it are like, you suck as a pilot. You don't know how to tune. You just suck. Why do you have to use hyper smooth? Blah, 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 blah. It's a tool.
Let me translate that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway.
It is a tool. And if you choose to use it, why does it matter so much? If you want to elevate yourself as a pilot, do it on your own merit. Don't do it by tearing down what somebody else is doing. Oh, wait. That would require skill.
Sick burn.
Personally, I don't have a problem with it either way. Now, there are times where, I see some of the big names, and you can tell when it's hyper smooth footage, okay? I mean, you can tell. Even without props and shot and all, just the way some of the movements are just, because it won't be somebody's style. Here and there, you'll get that really snappy movement where it's almost just perfect and too precise, and it's like, there it is. But Hyper Smooth 2 does a really good job at not over smoothing the way like the Hero 5 did with the wobble.
Yeah.
And if you choose to use it, cool. I mean, they're in a flippy floppy style like steel, it actually doesn't fit because the camera is trying to catch up way too much. In a really fluid smile like a Cricut or a Drib, it can actually smooth out anything you have going on with your build, and I don't see the problem.
I mean, well, those guys, they have Real Steady, and they're going to do that shit in post, and that's a lot of work. Real Steady's, it's a lot of work to get Real Steady to look right. If they can get away with doing it with Hyper Smooth and they don't have to do shit, fuck, go for it. Otherwise, they're paying somebody, so it makes sense for them. Because otherwise, they're paying somebody to do that in post. And I was getting to that. I disagree. Because if you're janky and you put on Hyper Smooth, your shit's still going to look janky. Wait. Oh, my fist is so much smaller.
There we go. Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. And here's where you can really tell this, okay? It's not about how smooth it is or isn't. Look at the people that are tricking. And I don't mean like I did a snap roll. Look at the people that are comboing things. Look at the people that are doing the things that are really disorienting. Look at the people who are hitting gaps and tricking while they're doing it, okay? Those people, whether they're hyper smooth or not, you can tell that they are on their game. Anybody who's flying around in an open field, goes 100 feet in the air, decides to go woo and spin around while there's no danger, you're not, whether there's hyper smooth or not, you're not tricking anybody. It doesn't matter. And look, that's a challenge, right? If you take offense to that, go out and up your game. Use that as, because that's what all of us have done. We've pushed each other. We've challenged each other. And look, that's the only way you're going to grow. There's never going to be a time where you go, okay, I'm ready to do this. You're ready the second you can think about it. So you just go out and you start trying to do it, right, Chuck?
Exactly. And, oh, shit, it's gone. Where is it? Bam. Okay, I'm going to get into that, too. I don't know. Because this actually applies to me a lot, and then I'm going to disagree with this again, Mr. ED. Sorry, I'm not picking on you, bro. Well, I pick on the ones I love, so fuck off. Every time I do that, I lose track of what I was saying. If you watch my videos, if you go back 4 or 5 videos, okay, I'm not that much of a better pilot than I was 4 or 5 videos ago, which was probably 3 months ago. Okay, but you'll see, and in our private chat groups, I'm known as what do they call it, shaky sticks or whiskey stick? No, what do they call me?
Whiskey sticks.
Whiskey sticks, something like that. Because I got shaky sticks. It's just, you can see it. You can see every micro movement of my sticks when I do it. So like, I consider myself to be pretty damn good. I don't know. I'm not, I'm no pro or anything, but I'll trick through gaps. I'll do the crazy shit. I have about 99% of the time I have full control of my quad, which is something I definitely didn't always have. But I still had those micro movements, and that hypersmooth is something that can get rid of those. Now, I have found a specific prop choice which seems to have eliminated those completely, because I don't think I've changed my style of how I handle my sticks that I'm aware of. But yeah, that's that.
So, and look, we're just running with this, okay? Because you got some debate going on here, some points. So you say you mind when it's used as a tool to disguise poor piloting. for hobby, for work, all the way around. Because let's face it, if what you're after is the product, does it matter how you get there?
I can see the opposing argument that you can learn to get there through hard work and learning your craft, learning your settings, getting your filtering right, all that stuff that, like, there's a lot of work that goes into it. So I do understand how a lot of pilots are very passionate about not using hypersmooth. The fact that they have put all that work into getting their shit smooth and being able to fly smoothly, it bolsters their point, and it really does. And there is a point to be had there, for sure. But as far as I'm concerned, hypersmooth, like, if I go to this car show, right, it's going to be hypersmooth all day, and I'm probably going to be flying slow as fuck, and it's probably going to be kind of boring to do. But if it's the end product is probably going to be kind of cool.
But what if you don't enjoy that? What if you don't want to invest the time in tuning and, getting rid of your janky motors to get rid of, that vibration? And what if you just want the smooth without work? Does that make it wrong?
Hey, your tin can. I'm actually laughing at what you said, Mr. ED. That's so awesome. You fucking roll. What we got on screen here.
All right, is it better?
Yes, and I do agree with that, and I think Chris actually, MD95 TSI, he actually has a big beef with pilots that don't tell you that they're using it, and they think, and they talk like their shit don't stink. Yeah, I get that 100%. I'd throw somebody under the bus for that shit too.
And yet, I still feel like I can always pick it out. So I don't feel like they're really pulling one over on anybody unless you're just new and have the new eyes and haven't figured out how to spot it yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you don't have it, it's you're a lot less likely to know the little signs, because it's very little signs. Hypersmooth 2.0 is pretty damn good, bro, but the signs are minuscule.
Yeah. And look, for anybody who's wondering now, because we're talking about it, you see this mount in this camera, but you see what's on the drone, right? You go back a year, you go back 6 months, and you watch what I just put out, you notice the lack of shakes or wobbles. I've put my time in. But, when I got this, I didn't get it. Like Chuck is on his way to moving to this wholly, if not completely. A lot of people are. I'm still insistent that I don't like the extra weight. I don't like the form factor. I'm going to run a session as long as I can run a session, but I want this for when I want the shots where the session is not going to get it for me.
Josh, I agree with everything you just said. I fucking hate the weight. I think it's bullshit. I fly my quad with a session on it, and dude, I could do some cool, crazy shit. I have more control. Like, everything about it is better. But the sessions ain't gonna be around. It's already hard to get one back from GoPro.
Yeah.
Like, ask Raz. You gotta wait a month. His is a little different situation, but you got to wait until they have the parts to repair one to even send to you. So
I get that. That's why 3 is my magic number, because I want 2 in the bag and 1 on the shelf. That way, when I send one back, I still have 2 in my bag.
Well, that's 3 session 5s right there. None of them work.
Mm-hmm.
I have 1 or 2 other ones.
For not sending them back.
I got 1 or 2 other ones that do, but LCD screen doesn't work. Shit like that on them. I'm trying to save my money, dude.
Really? After you told me you just went shopping?
What'd I go shopping for? I got some ND filters.
Food.
I ate fruit out of my fridge, you asshole.
Oh, you didn't go get dinner? You should have went.
No, I had fruit for dinner.
Oh, I'm just fucking with you. Oh.
Hey, dude, Rabbi, go use your session 5 again and get all tricked out and do some crazy freestyle. I know you like racing and stuff, but you'll be like, "Oh my god, this is so much better," and it is. But that's I knew that shit was going away slowly. It'll probably be around for at least maybe even 3 to 5 years. Who knows? But it's going to be harder and harder to get them, and probably more expensive if you're not doing the GoPro thing. So I bit the bullet. I bought 2 Hero 8s, and I'm running them almost exclusively. Plus, I really like ND filters. That shit's good.
Right? For anybody who's out there trying to figure out how to get, because look, let's make a point, and this is a point from experience as a guy who has tried, okay? Sometimes, even on a brand new build with everything perfect and balanced props, and you name it, everything to perfection, you will still get a range of oscillations somewhere. And you can fix it cheaply with an ND filter.
And Josh was talking earlier about people who don't want to put the work in, who don't want to tune. Well, guess what? I know one of those guys, and he's got 2 freaking thumbs.
Dude, I'm on ND filters. I have been for a long time for 2 reasons. The first is kind of managing the jello, right? But the second, and this one I enjoy even more. I don't even understand what I'm reading.
Oh,
All right. And the second one is what it does to your color balance. You want to talk about saturated colors, even with your best settings on the best GoPro on a beautiful day or on a less than perfect day when it comes to lighting, okay? In either scenario, your colors will always be washed out. Or if you're using that GoPro color, there'll always be a little bit not right in regards to saturation. Whereas if you run flat and ND filter, what you can do with a little bit of post is nuts.
And once you learn how to do post real good, I mean, it literally 5 minutes and your shit's color like, ooh.
Oh yeah, it's real simple. And then again, the double whammy of getting rid of any jello, because jello a lot of times is not a tuning thing. It's a build thing, and those vibes, there's nothing you can do except change motors, and most of us are not, steel, and we are not changing motors 5, 6, 7, 8 times on a build to figure out the one motor that had to shake to get rid of it.
Or changing a prop every time it gets a nick.
Yeah.
There's a lot of props out there. They like the ethics props, the watermelons or the lemon limes. Beautifully running props. The control, the responsiveness, it's freaking, I'll ride that dick all day. But you get one little nick in those bitches, and you'd be like Pet Detective driving down the highway. Oh shit, I'm losing everything.
Now, one thing I would love to see, have you guys been watching what do they call them? The uncased GoPros? People are starting to use them a lot on Cinewhoop, so they've really gotten popular fast. I would tell me how cool this would be if GoPro would just and look, they don't have to put it in Best Buys, and I'll make it mail order only, okay? That's fine. What if GoPro took a Hero 8, fitted into a session style or better with no battery, and allowed us to run this from a balance lead of some sort?
Oh, I would be, dude. I'll tell you what, right now, that is fantastic. If if it wasn't for this FPV trip, I would have already built one, and I'd put it on my damn Freestyle 5-inch. I give a shit about those little stupid ducted quad bullshits. I don't care. I have no interest. Stuff looks cool. I don't care. who was that? I don't remember who had that link of the one I showed you guys. It had 2 carbon fiber plates and some TPU, and it looked like a fucking credit card, bro. That was thick. It
Have you
weighs
seen how much weight it
nothing.
removes?
Everything, dude. That battery is everything.
Not just the battery, the case alone weighs as much as the battery.
Yeah, and I want that on my freestyle. Dude, if I can get that going, eventually I'll get it going. We'll get this trip out of the way. I don't give a flying fuck about the session. None of it. That will be
You
my
know
point
what's going to
factor.
suck though? If you want to play the warranty game, you're going to have to keep your case and you're going to have to put it back together to go turn it in, to turn around and now undo again to reconvert.
Yeah, I'd
That's why I
probably
said,
find.
how cool would it be if they just played the game? Now, look, I don't mind the case because that's durability, right? But a reasonable case, because if they were to downsize it like the session, they'd be cutting a lot of weight out already. Downsize it, remove the battery, let us power it from the LiPo. Dude, that you want to talk about game changer?
Yeah, well, dude, that one, it was either Get FPV or RDQ that had it with the carbon fiber and the TPU, and it was like $15, right? That thing looks, dude, that looks durable. Like it looked like it will take hits. I know, I see the argument going on in there too.
Yeah. Well, and they're right. These are things I've thought when I look at it, and I'm like, because a lot of us live and die by warranties, whether it be through GoPro or Best Buy. We live and die through those warranties. Can you imagine dropping $300 every time you broke one?
Hey, I know, right? I paid $350 for my first session 5. They were still kind of new.
I did not, but nonetheless.
Well, I got a free SD card and all that with it too, and that was with the warranty. So I did get a discount. I got a discount, and it was $350.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah. About one last thing about the naked GoPro, man. I'd probably get a used 7 from somebody to do it with. I would not spend 300 to $500 on a camera that I'm gonna possibly wreck by trying to take it apart.
Actually, I've seen a lot of people finally starting to dump their 5 heroes, not the sessions, the full heroes. That would be ideal because you can pick them up anymore about $100, $120.
Very true. Very true. Might be a thing.
Yeah, it definitely caught my eye. I looked at it and all I thought is I would break that lens.
So Jeff, have you've looked recently and you can't find any 5s under 350? Because they do come
What?
up. They do come up, bro.
They do. I used to put on an eBay searches fairly frequently, and not even for myself. I was just kind of keeping an eye out, and I'd post links to these guys when I found them.
I got one.
Usually 130 or less shipped.
100, about 130, $140, refurb. So you are taking a gamble that it's going to be fucking lame. And it was through Amazon was the last one. So it's not just eBay, and I would stick with Amazon because I broke that shit on like the 3rd pack that I used it, and it just stopped working completely.
Yeah.
And that's the chance you take for getting a refurb. But Amazon's return policy is so fucking bomb. You have 6 months to decide if you even want it.
Yep.
So you can return it for any reason within 6 months, and they'll send you another one.
Looks like the session 4s are even going up in price again. It's so weird the way these waves come and go.
Yeah. Well, I think what it is, and this is just my theory, is that GoPro hoards them for. I'm serious. Well, they have third-party companies repair them, and they hoard them for their warranty program.
Oh, okay.
Well, once they take up warehouse space for too long, I think they dump a bunch of the refurbs onto Amazon. because they come in blocks on Amazon of like 50 of them will show up, right, and they'll be $130. And I think that's why they're just trying to get rid of them because they've been taking up storage space too long, and that
Okay.
costs them money. So,
But my advice would be this, because yeah, let's face it, you're not going to get a new in-box Hero Session anymore. And even if somebody's selling it, remember it's coming from a private sale, right? Um, I would make sure that you're paying through PayPal or some method, maybe even a credit card, not necessarily just a debit card, right? Because something where you can go there and basically file a claim for a bad part, for theft, for something. Um, they are to be found. Here's one right here, $132 shipped, Hero 5.
what was that, eBay?
eBay.
See, I don't like eBay.
I know it's not Amazon, but depends how bad you want one. Just make sure you're covering your A.
And that's why I have, 3 or 4 busted sessions just sitting around because I might have not have the money to throw at getting them replaced by GoPro right now, but you know,
Well, I think I'm going to have to use a repair soon, or it almost becomes forfeit.
yeah, oh, because of how much money you've paid.
Well, meaning that like once you go over that mark and now you've got your 2 repairs saved up, and at that point you're still paying, but if you don't use them, they're not just going to keep accumulating. So, yeah, the camera front, we've definitely seen some interesting innovation come with the Insta360, which really shook everything up. It's not a terrible price. You can use it for, I'll say, your regular GoPro style flights, or you can use the 360 view.
There is a new one. I don't know if you've been watching Nerk lately, but he did a review on the new 4K mod, and it's a lot heavier than a Hero 8. It does have some really cool versatility, though. I like the modular shit.
Yeah. Well, and even those, those are the ones, or some of the ones that started the whole no battery craze, because, the camera has like some sort of control, or has like a monitor module, then it has the lens module, and then it has the battery that fits underneath. And what people started doing was just tying into the power leads underneath that thing, removing the battery to remove that weight. And then, of course, you call people, and I know the GoPro people have been doing it for a while, but it wasn't in the mainstream. You weren't seeing it unless you were really looking for it. Whereas now that somebody's put together, the kit for the GoPro Naked, now it's everywhere.
Right. Speaking of picking shit up on the cheap, this kind of reminded me. I don't remember if I showed this last time, but if any of y'all know who Nancy Fang is, she's a cool chick to follow on Facebook. Like, I just picked up, bing, oh, woo,
I'm mad
badass
jealous.
3-axis gimbal. Right, it's kind of freaking out because I don't have a camera on it right now, but $60 shipped, and she has them right now for $50 shipped in
She
her group.
still has them?
I don't know if that was a day ago that I saw that.
Oh,
So there, but she'll say that she doesn't have. She'll say I only got 2 left. She's bullshitting you half the time.
to get you to pull that trigger.
Yeah. So, but dude, like I'm not even a vlogger, man, but this shit is cool. Like I specifically wanted this because of the trip, the RV trip we got planned. Like this is gonna come in handy.
You know what sucks is recently I unfollowed her and Ellie and another person that I had been following, because they've been pushing junk for so long, and so much junk that like has no relevancy to anything I even care about, that I was like, fuck it, I'm over it.
Oh,
And then that,
if you look at Nancy Fang's actual group, it's like heated hoodies and USB lamp, desk fans. Like, who gives a shit? But it's the random posts that she throws out there. Like, she'll put them in the FPV group sometimes too. That's actually where I saw this one first, because I wasn't part of her group. And every once in a while, you come across something. This is, if you look this up, this is a Phaotech G6 Plus. You'll find them cheaper, but its actual sticker price is $240. $60.
So it's a legit 3-axis gimbal, is what you're saying.
Absolutely, it is not a cheapie.
Damn it!
Hit her up. Oh yeah, you can hit her up. Hit her up in Messenger.
Yeah, I will.
Like, that is a
Because
good chick
the
to know.
camera that I use, it doesn't have in-body stabilization. The lenses have stabilization, but it's not as good as the in-body. And then that's just part of the price for not having a full sensor, full size, camera. But yeah.
Well, and even with your Hero 8, dude, with Hypersmooth 2.0 on a 3-axis gimbal, you got fire footy right there.
Yeah, for real. Well,
Sex toys, he says.
I know. If I had seen sex toys, I probably would have been really into it. But
Well, hit her on off axis if you're still here.
they're great to zip tie onto a drone.
Oh, yeah, we're waiting for that still. You can just get on that cutting room floor and show us some funny shit.
I know. I got a lot to go through. It's been a long few weeks.
Yeah,
I was
well,
shooting footy of the family down at the beach, and just because we don't have a lot, like we never really put a lot of time into taking pictures and video, and I'm starting to realize like kids are growing up and moving away, and you see parents and grandparents of ours that grew up with photo albums and photo albums. They had whole bookcases full of them. Well, me and my wife, we don't have any of that. So I'm like trying to make up for a little bit of lost time and trying to be a little more conscious about getting some stuff here and there. But so between that, my kid graduating high school, like I've got something like, and Adam and Mike the other day, I've got like 210 gigabytes of footy to go through.
Keep talking. I got something to show you as soon as I get this shit.
You're good. I just, I hoard it, but part of it is like, I use my camera. I like my camera. It's a Sony A6400. And what I like is the ability to, get depth of field and all that other stuff with it. There are things that you just can't get with a GoPro. And it takes really good video. It takes 4K 30 video, or it takes up to 120 FPS 1080 video. But I find myself shooting a lot of 4K with it only because I don't have to frame that perfect shot in the camera itself. I can just get close. And because I'm outputting it like 2.7K, I can zoom in and not lose any clarity. Yeah. And so it's giving me a lot of flexibility.
All right. Now, I am kind of old, so I do have a trunk full of photo albums at my house. This is my parents' shit that were passed to me. So it's all of when I was a child. I don't really have anything after that, right? Well, I do have some photo albums, and I have them right here.
Oh no. Brother, you got to get that stuff off of there just in case.
I've held on to this thing for 4 or 5 years.
Is that a BlackBerry?
No, it's an LG.
Oh, okay.
Non-touch screen. So I have a fuckload of photos. But yeah.
He's right. Chuck, leave your arms up in the air and look at you on the screen. It looks like you have a Chewbacca torso.
What?
Put your arms up. The camel's neck looks like your body coming out from underneath of you.
Oh.
Gotta tuck those shoulders in, homie. Or are you Wilford Bromley or whatever his name is now? God, dude. Oh my God, it's perfect when you put your arms up.
It's that black shirt.
Yeah, but because of the way it blends with the background, it leaves a little bit to the imagination. Oh, man.
That's a funny thing too. We're talking about, having digital photo albums now. I feel all that shit's it's kind of worthless in a way. And I was waiting for that confused face. I was striving for it. Because you don't ever go back and search through all that shit, man. You could have like 20 fucking gigs of family photos, and they sit there and, like, when you have photo albums of physical photos, maybe one or every 2 years, you sit down, you leaf through them. It's an experience. When you have 20 gigs of fucking photos on your fucking laptop or in a cloud or whatever, it's just like scroll, and it's all the photos together. And it's just like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem as valuable.
Well,
unless you're printing them and hanging them, the good ones or whatever.
I mean, once in a while, yes, but we don't even do that. You know what really got me thinking about that, though, was one that anytime I have done albums, I've always gone to the trouble. I don't rename photos and all. I don't add descriptions, but I do put things in albums. Okay, and that helps a lot. But all of our TVs now are smart TVs. They're all hooked up to Alexa. They're all hooked up to, well, one of the things you can do with Prime is put your photos online, and they'll just scroll through like a screensaver on any of your devices.
That's actually kind of cool to have, like, on the TV in your house.
Any of the TVs, just because it's on the Prime account.
And you mix in, like, every, I don't know, 100th photo. It's one of those super embarrassing ones of your kids.
And I don't know if any of you guys have used, to any extent, Alexa's search capability on, like, your TV and all, but it works really good.
I still like albums, though. Like, when I go home, I'll open that trunk up and I'll look through all my childhood photos, and it's more of an experience.
You know what you got to be careful with, though, too, because remember, back then, you didn't just snap pictures nonchalant like, you had film for days. You only got the ones that mattered. And the only ones you put in the album were the ones you selected after taking the ones that you thought mattered. Whereas now, people are taking pictures and pictures and pictures of everything, which is why I do go through all of mine, and I do whittle them down. I don't just chuck everything up into an album.
Yeah, that's a chore. I hate doing that shit. I got to do it about once a month on my phone because I take so many bullshit screenshots just for conversations and a chat that, memes and, photos of dicks to, send to Josh randomly.
So it's something I've been mulling around, but video is something I've been using a lot because I feel like, now video is way more accessible than it's ever been.
Blizzard's on fire.
Coffee table, book of coffee tables. I've seen that. I've also seen the cookbook, like 101 recipes with semen or something. Oh, yeah. You should send that one to some random people.
Okay.
I know, right? Can you imagine? It's just like, can you just imagine the look of disgust, confusion, back to disgust, back to confusion, peeking, thinking nobody's looking. Somebody walks into the room and they're like,
You've put some thought into this.
I could only hope it would turn out that well. Oh, that's interesting. We have a Facebook user.
What's up? Who are you? We'd love to know.
Oh, when I think that happens is when they haven't given StreamYards access and it just doesn't know. Yeah, well, whoever you are, hello, and thank you for stopping in.
Seriously, I mean, yeah, we've just about run out of shit to talk about, so.
Yeah, and it's a typical Wednesday for me, so I got to pack up tonight because tomorrow I'll be trying to, get closer to home. And I'll say that I really enjoyed today. I thought about trying to make it really busy and squeezing a bunch of packs flying and hurry back to do the stream, and decided, no, just going to mosey around.
I actually enjoyed this stream a lot more than the ones that we've done previous, because usually I've come back from a long ass run with very little sleep and I'm tired as hell. But I had a short day today. I took a 2-hour nap at like 3 o'clock. I feel good. Got all
Very
wired on a couple of sodas that I usually don't drink.
Our Facebook user is none other than the Leprechaun.
What's up, you short bastard?
Have you seen how big his boys are getting?
I don't know how recent, but they were getting pretty big when I seen them. You'll have to send me some pics, man. I want to see what your boys are looking like, the little fucking monsters.
Go on Facebook, bitch.
I fucking hate Facebook. That hasn't
Man, I
become
can't
obvious.
wait till one day we do get the crew back together again. Plummet, Night Train, Cole, maybe dig out, Noel. Hell, might have to swing through Icky's even though he doesn't have any drone shit anymore.
Shit, I'll let him fly one.
Right? All day.
Yeah, I got his old
drone.
boss,
You were the
basically.
best I ever had. Go die. He's the only guy I know that can kill a drone faster than you.
Yeah, right.
And Chris.
I don't know. Raz is getting up there. Raz is like, he's almost taking over my spot for the destroyer.
You got a point.
You know what? Only because I've been flying really good lately. Flying smooth, not smashing into concrete. Like, I've been having solid one-pack run, like golden pack runs.
Okay.
That's not for lack of trying.
I'm going to issue a challenge here, and Raz is here, and this is going public now. He's right. You are having a streak of break shit left and right. The only difference is you're breaking shit just about as rampantly as Icky was, but Icky was being a little more daring. So, Raz, up your game, homie.
No. I'm canceling that challenge. Save your fucking money, Raz. Go fucking drive your RC car. That's actually something that we could talk about real quick. I don't know if you're in a hurry to go. Me and Raz were talking about he's got a really nice RC truck, right? And he has this 3D printing gun, the TPU gun, basically. And he hand makes shit. And I don't know, but if any of you guys have seen his shit, but he can make some cool ass shit freehand with a freaking TPU printer. And he's got all these. He got himself a Hero 8. And so he put a session mount on it in a certain spot. He put the Hero 8 on a certain spot on it. And we were talking and like, hey, wouldn't it be really fucking cool if you found a trail, right? Because you see RC ground videos and they look like shit because they're so fucking bouncy. Well, Hypersmooth helps a lot with that, and it's shaky, but it's fucking watchable. It's enjoyable. And you find a trail that goes to somewhere, like, I don't know, an abandoned fucking cabin or whatever. It doesn't matter, right? A waterfall. And you start at one end of the trail, you turn your Hero 8 on, and you drive it until you can't drive it anymore down this trail. You stop. You go put your, like a session or something on that part of the trail, and then you drive by it, right? And then you repeat that process over and over until you get where you're going. And by the end, and you edit it and throw it together and use the session, those drive-by for your cuts. And like, it's like a mission. It's like a 2-minute mission. And there's like a payoff at the end. And you put some music to it. I think it would be cool as fuck.
I would like to see that.
Right? You know what I'm getting at, right? You kind of you string each one along, and that cut with the truck driving by, for the side view or whatever. I think that'll make it a smooth enough transition from each part to make it just believable that it's one trek to wherever.
That would be really interesting.
So I've been pushing Raz to get on that because I want to see some of that shit. I'd watch it, and I don't even care about the ground game, but that would be cool.
Bro, we got to get you in this. I mean, look, drones are cool, but like eventually I want a plane that flies. Eventually I want a car. Like I just enjoy being able to do group shit with people with the RC stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not splitting the revenue. I'm not splitting that. No way. I mean, sure, it'd be fun to drive around some cars and stuff, but even FPV them or whatever. But my money goes to drones, and if that's basic set of money that I've set aside for drones doesn't get spent on drones, I ain't gonna be flying drones because I break shit.
Okay. Still got me thinking about that idea. I would like to see that.
Right? And you know what? Nobody's doing it. Nobody. So none of y'all in here with a car, don't fight that shit. You let Raz do it first, fuckers.
Well, guys, let's go ahead and wrap up this session. So, you know, it's been really cool having Mike here all night. It's a shame Plum couldn't be here, but the dude's been working some weird hours and I'm working some long hours on top of it. But I'm not going to give any details. Plummet was telling me he's got some stuff going on in his channel. He wants to try to kick it up. So if you're not subscribed to Plummet FPV, give him a look up. He's looking to do some things. It's not just your typical flight videos. So we'll see. Maybe by me giving him a plug, it'll all die, and then it'll just be me plugging something that never happened. Or maybe it'll give him a push and make sure that he does it. Night Train has his whistle stops running. He posts FPV videos and things too. Make sure you head on over to Night Train's channel if you're not subscribed. The streams can be very entertaining. They're just kind of some guys hanging out off the cuff. So, you know, if you like to hang out and just listen to that sort of thing, maybe when you're driving down the road or just sitting around with not much to do, definitely check it out.
Go to this guy's channel and watch his last video.
I would love you guys to watch my last video.
Fire. And like I said, Dad, if you guys haven't seen the last one we put on the FPV NoobTube, that shit's fucking hilarious.
There you go.
Well, I've noticed you have to watch it twice because there's something that somebody says, Mr. Fordo, that nobody ever catches the first time, and it's loud. It's not like it's nobody catches that shit. Watch it a second time, you'll fucking laugh harder. Oh yeah, so and me, look at me. All I do is run-of-the-mill flight videos.
Yep, MD came back with his chop shop, so he's kicking that up again. He's got I'll call it a new season of some stuff going on. And E-Drone, Eric Marvel, make sure you keep him in mind. He's got some things going on both with the channel and with his.
Yep. Hey, and MD is back on the ball with the Drone Network Fridays, right?
Yes, thank you.
8 or 9?
I want to say it's 8.
Yeah, MD95 TSI, the Drone Network, and he's got a new co-host, and he's actually one of our boys, somebody you don't see very often because he kind of likes to be behind the scenes, but he is a cool cat. If you'd like to meet him, show up on MD's channel on Friday.
Yep. So with that, we have plugged enough. You guys have a great night, and we will see you in 2 weeks for another hump day. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.